Welcome back to another Pokemon Falling Friday, home of the OG weekly market updates, where every Friday morning we go through last week's sales of sealed Pokemon products and Pokemon cards that are currently going down in price. We do also cover the big Pokemon news that cards are set to get revealed. And we do have to do the question of the day. What set would you guys rather have, 151 or Crown Zenith? And I'm talking a Master Set. And we do have to give a quick thanks to our video sponsor, and that is COLLECTR. This app is the best of the best when it comes to tracking your collection. I've tried every other app, and if I had to guess, the second closest app to COLLECTR maybe has 1/10 of the amount of cards and products that COLLECTR actually has. So if there's any creators out there telling you to download these other apps, it's only because they did not get sponsored by COLLECTR and they're just trying to make some money. Because COLLECTR is the best of the best. And they also do more giveaways than anyone in this entire hobby. So make sure you check them out on all their socials. I'll have all the links in the description. Then, of course, you guys want to try out tag for your first time. Click the link, use the code BEARD102. You get 10% off your first submission. And same thing with PSA. Click the link, use the code BEARD25. You get $25 off your first submission. You just got to use a new email every time for that. And if you guys could download the FANATICS Select app, you guys can watch my Falling Friday, Market Monday, Thursday, and Sunday, 7 p.m. Central, completely free. And I'm actually live in the chat. It's a ton of fun, and we do a giveaway every video, and you actually find out who wins towards the end of the video. So definitely check that out. I'll have all the links in the description. But all right, let's get into it. We have the Pitch Black Booster Box. This box was at $282. Now last sold $181, $179. Most of them are right at $180. We got one high one at $190. Next, Chaos Rising. So it's a $270 booster box. Now last sold $175, $180. Bunch at $180. Next, Perfect Order. Was at $223, got down to $171, bounced back up to $180, and now last sold $175, $176. We even got a couple at $170. Next, Destined Rivals. So it's at $642, now last sold $464, $465, $499. So I mean, almost a $200 drop. Let's see if we can get this one shipped from a legit seller. Let's see here. That's just loose booster packs. Loose $465 from a legit seller. So yeah, legitimately $200 off. Next, Paldea Evolve booster box was at $505. Now that's sold $464, $429, and $430. Next, the Journey Together Enhanced booster box was at $280. Now last sold $265, $275. Most of them are right at $265. So just started to drop. And we have Temporal Forces was at $333. Now all last sold right around $295. And we have some ETBs. Here's the Celebrations regular ETB was at $498. Now last sold $365 with a tear, otherwise $380, $378, and $375. Next, the 151 regular ETB was at $674. Dropped down to $590, went back up to about $620. Now last sold $600, $576, and $580. Next, the Pitch Black regular ETB was at $147. Now last sold all right around $72. And here's a Pitch Black Pokemon Center ETB was at $619. Now last sold $129, $131, and $125. Next, we have the Surging Sparks regular ETB was at $135. Now last sold $122, $117. And we have the Team Rockets UPC was at $394. Now last sold $344, $340, pretty much all at $340 to $345. Next, we have the Blooming Waters Premium Collection. This box was at $400. Now last sold $329, $325, and $330. Next, we have the Prismatic Premium Figure Collection. Another nice box was at $265. Now last sold $223, $219. Next, we got some cards. Here's the Applin from Twilight Masquerade. Got up to about $15. Now last sold $12 and $11. So many cards have dropped just a few dollars. Just didn't want to add all of them. Next, we have the Team Rockets Meowth from Destined Rivals was at $33. Now last sold $28, $27, and $26. Next, the Cleffa from Obsidian Flames was a $50 card. Now last sold $36, $38, and $39. Next, we have the Dusknoir. This is from Shroud of Fable, was at $36. Now you can get it right around $29. Here is the Dusclops. This was a $51 card. Now last sold $39, $48, pretty much all right around $42. And here's the Duskull. Did not go in order. This was at $62. Now last sold $52, $53, and $55. We even got one at $49. Next, we have the Misty Psyduck. Was at $83. Now last sold $64, $60, and $65. Next, we have the Tyranitar. Was at $88. Now last sold $64, $73, and 75. Ton in the low 70s. Next, the Bulbasaur from Stellar Crown was at $140. Now last sold 99, 104, and 100. And the Squirtle still right around 115. Next, we have some SIRs. Here's the Dawn. Really beautiful SIR if you really look at that background. Just wish there was a little bit more Pokemon in the background. That is my only complaint with this card. This was at $33. Now last sold 23, 21, and 25. Next, the Salamence still dropping. Was at 73. Now last sold 57, 58, and 55. Next, the Pheasantipity was at 75. Held strong there for a little bit. It was from Ascended. Now last sold 57 and 60. Next, we have the Mega Aurora from Pitch Black. Was at 170. Now last sold 69, 65, and 60. Next, the Gardevoir from Scarlet Mountain base set was at 97. Now last sold 73, 74, and 75. And we have the Team Rockets Moltres EX, the one you actually have to pull from Destin, was at 125. Now 106, 110, 103. Next, we have the Morpeko from Pitch Black, was at 198, dropped down to 106, went back up to 130, and now last sold all right around $99 to $100. And we have the Charizard from Obsidian, was at 140. Now last sold 105, 106, and 110. And we have the Mega Greninja EX, was at 583. This is from Chaos Rising. The Twilight Greninja is just starting to drop, so I'll probably add it next Friday. But the Greninja from Chaos was at $583. Now last sold 212, 218. Is this card going to get in the 100s? I could maybe see it at like 180, 190. Can't see it getting too much lower than that, though. Next, we have the Cynthia's Garchomp from Destin, was at 290. Now last sold 254, 248, and 246. Next, the Mega Darkrai was at $396. Now last sold 256, 255, 260. I don't know. I have a feeling this card's going to be, following that Greninja. Next, we have the Glaceon from Prismatic. Finally, some evolutions from Prismatic are dropping. Glaceon was at $313. Now last sold 265, 258, and a couple high ones at 330 and 310. Next, the Charizard from Paldean Fates was at $336. Now last sold 288, 315, and 290. Next, the Pikachu from Surging Sparks was at $382. Now last sold 290, 288, and 285. Not a bad time to start picking up some of these cards, especially the ones that are dropping, $100, $200, like this Pikachu and stuff. Next, we have the Charizard EX from 151. This is at $492. Now last sold $375, $380, and $360. And even the Team Rockets Mewtwo's dropping, was at $568. Now last sold $485, $498, and $500. I swear, I really think I like the new Mewtwo we're getting for the 30th better than the actual Destined Rivals and Ascended Heroes one. But I haven't seen it in person yet. But so far, I think I like it better. Next, we have the Mega Dragonite. Was at $879. Now that sold $680, $679, $784. But all the newest sales are in the high $600. Next, we have the Mega Charizard X dropping. Was at $875. Now last sold $817, $729, $826. Got a couple super low ones here at $411. And then a bunch in the mid $700s. Next, we have the Bubble Mew just starting to drop. Was at about $1,100. Now last sold $961, $933, and then before that was $1,100, $1,000, $140. So let's see what we can get this one shipped for from a legit seller. Let's see here. Not a ton of sales, not a ton of sales. This one has pictures, $990 with pictures, near mint from a good seller. Another one here at $970 with pictures, and then a couple from brand new sellers at about $960. Next, we got some gold cards. Here's the Mega Zygarde, was at $170. Now, last sold $132 and $125. And here's the Mega Darkrai, was at $360. Now, last sold $175 and $180. Next, we have the gold Mega Dragonite from Ascended, was at $336. Now, last sold $249, $277, and $259. Next, we have the gold Mega Charizard X. This was at $641 and then kind of leveled out right around $350. But now we got some of the cheapest sales ever. Last sold $310, $308, a couple of $340, but most of them are right around $310. And we can get it shipped from a legit seller at $308 with shipping included. Not bad, because remember, these are technically harder to pull than the actual SIRs. And same with the Mega Charizard Y. You got to think Ascended Heroes is big. This card is actually pretty tough to pull. So here's the Y, was at $674. Now last sold $435, $467, and $480. Next, we have the Giratina from Crown Zenith. Was at $429. Now last sold $364, $335, and $340. Next, the Mewtwo from Crown Zenith is starting to drop. Was at $310. Now last sold, we got a couple high ones here at $330, $329. Otherwise, $275, $310, $297, and $290. Next, we have the Darkrai V-Star, also from Crown Zenith, dropping. Was at $119. Now last sold $99, $104, and $98. But yeah, a ton of Galarian Gallery cards are starting to drop. And here is the Suicune. Was at $74. Now last sold $66, $58, and $60. Next, we got some Trainer Gallery cards. Here's a Rayquaza starting to drop. Was at $225. Now $200, $199, and still got a high one at $225, but most of them are right at $200. Next, here is the Pikachu V Trainer Gallery card. Was at $140. Now last sold $120. Now last sold $120, $125, and $139. So just starting to drop in price. Same with a ton of other, Trainer Gallery cards. And here's the Pikachu V Max Trainer Gallery. Was at $127. Now we got one at $107, $108, $115. Next, we have the Gengar. This is the Trainer Gallery Lost Origin card. No texture on this one. Was at $65. Now last sold $49, $46, and $50. And last on the list, we're going to check out some Storm Emerald sales. So here is the Rayquaza. We got a sale at $7.99. I think the lowest sale that I've seen so far is like $6.50. Again, not a ton of sales. But if you check, 130 point, some of these, best offer accepted. But yeah, here we got one at $602 with $18 in shipping. And here's the one gold card, but I think it actually sold for like $700 or $800 with our best offer. Barely any of these cards have sold yet, which is kind of crazy. I was actually expecting way more sales. But yeah, I'm just so curious to see what these cards are going to be priced at for English. I have a feeling they're going to be very similar to the Mega Charizard from Phantasmal Flames is my guess. Because, again, kind of a smaller set, really popular Pokemon. I think it's going to be more than like the Surging Sparks Pikachu or Greninja from Twilight. So, yeah, pretty cool card. But all right, that was this week's Pokemon Find Friday. If you guys like this content and want to stay ahead of the market, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit that like and comment if you guys want to support more. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Fanatics, all that. You guys know what to do. You guys are the absolute best. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. And you guys got to watch my newest Throwback Thursday where we do a giveaway and we check out the best Mimikyu cards in Pokemon history. Otherwise, if you guys want to watch any of my other vending content, I'll have an entire playlist above also. All right, see you next time.